Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Um, we are from group one. We are from group six. Pardon. Uh, I would like to present about the chapter 13, which is building information system. My name is Muhammad Anwar Rizki, and my friend's name is Muhammad Dika Frizal. So this is the structural organizational change enabled by IT. There is four significant uh, organizational. The first one is the automation. The second one is the rationalization of producer. The third was business process redesign, and the last was paradigm shift. In the automation, it increased the efficiency and replaced manual stuff. And for the second one, the rational of procedures, it is a streamlined standard operating procedure, often found in the program for making continuous quality improvement. For the example, like TQM or Total Quality Management, and also Six Sigma. In the business process redesign, it will be analyze, simplify, and redesign business process. And it will also reorganize workflow, combine steps, and also eliminate the repetition. And for the last was the paradigm shift, which writing another of business, define new business model, and change nature of organization. Next. So this is the organizational change, career risk and rewards. In this figure, we could see there is four steps that I've been explained before, from the lowest into the high return and also high risk. So the automation will have the lowest risk and return, and the paradigm shift will have the highest and will have the highest risk and also higher. The paradigm will have the highest risk and return. Next. And then there is a business process management, which is BPM. It is a variety of tools, methodologies to analyze, design, and also used by firms to manage business process redesign. And there is a five steps in the BPM. The first one is to identify process for changes. The second was to analyze existing process. The third one was to design a new process. And the fourth one was implement the new process. And the last one was continuous measurement. Next. So this is the FS business process for processing a book from physical bookstore. So we could see in the figure, processing a book from a physical bookstore requires many steps to be performed by both seller and the customer. So we have four segment, which is the customer to the clerk, and also the customer to the clerk. From it is the flow of how the customer will buy a book, and the diagram tree of how they make a decision. Next. And this is the redesign process for purchasing a book online. So we could see that the map for the map of process was simplified from the access online bookstore into the search online catalog, and also they could access, is it a book available? If no, then the user will select other online bookstore. If the book is available, then enter the order and payment data, and also the user will receive the book in email. Next. So this is the various BPM use tools. The first one to identify and document the existing process. It identify inefficiencies. The second one, create models of improved process. The third one was capture and enforce business rules for performing automating process. The fourth one was integrate the existing system to support process improvement. The fifth, verify that new process have been improved. And the last, measure the impact of the process changes on the key business performance indicator. Next. And this is the system development process. In the system development process, it activities that go into the producing and information system solution to an organizational problem or opportunity. So there is six steps of development. The first one was system analysis. Second was system design. The third one was programming. The programming the system. The fourth one was testing the program. The fifth was the conversion of the program that we have been developed, and the last one was production and maintenance. Okay. So this is the system development process that I've been talked. So from the system analysis into the production and the maintenance, we will have a repeated cycle, which is once it have been launched into the production and being maintenance by the developer, the system will have another analysis and repeating the step from one until the production and maintenance again. Next. In the system analysis, analysis of the problem to be solved by new system. Defining the problem and identifying the causes. And also it's specifying a solution. The system proposal report identifies and examine alternative solution. And also it identifying information requirement. In the system analysis too, it is include feasibility study, establishing information requirement, which is who needs the, what information, where, when, and how. And also it define objective of new or modified system. And also it's detail on the function new system must perform. And the last was the faulty requirement analysis, is leading cause of the system failure and the high system development cost. Next. In the system design, it describes system specification that will deliver function identified during system analysis, and also should address all the managerial, organizational, and the technology component of the system solution. And the role of the end user information requirement drives the system process to ensure the system reflects their business properties, business priorities, and the information needs. And also it is insufficient user involvement in the design effort is the major cause of the system failure. Next. And this is the table of the design specification from the output, input, user interface, database design, and also the processing, manual procedure, control, security, documentation, conversion, training, and also the organizational changes. Next. So in this step, the programming, the system specification from the design stage are translated into the software program code. In the testing, it is ensured the system produces right results as what the developer expected. The unit testing tests each program in the system as a whole. And also acceptance testing makes sure the system is ready to be used in the producing setting. And also the test plan, all the preparation of the series of the test. Next. So this is a table of a simple test plan to test a record change. We could see there is a few test reference from 2.0 until 2.6. we could see that it is about the condition tested, about the special requirement, and also expected threshold, the output, and also the next sprint for the step developing a test plan. It is imperative to include the various conditions to be tested. The requirement of each condition uh, tested and the expected result. Next. And this is the conversion. In the conversion, the process of the changing from the old system to the new system. And also it has a format strategy, it requires end user training, and also finalization of the detailed documentation showing how system works from technical and the end user standpoint. Next, so this is the last step, which is the production and the maintenance. The system review to determine if the revision needed may include post-implementation audit document, and the last is the maintenance, changes in the hardware, software documentation, or the produce to a production system to correct errors, meet new requirement, or improve processing efficiency. So it has 100%, which is the 20% of debugging, emergency work, and also 20% of changes to hardware, software, and data and reporting. And the last 60% is a work, feature enhancements, improving documentation, recording for greater processing efficiency. Next. And this is the table of the system development. It's all the summary that I've been explained, which is the core activity from the six steps, and also the description of what the steps or the stages are doing, something like that. Next. And next, this slide will be explained by my friend Dika Frizal.
Okay, now is methodologies for modeling and designing system. First one is most prominent methodologies for modeling and designing system. There's two. The first is structure methodologies. Second one is object-oriented development. That is the discuss area. And the second is the structure of the methodologies. There's three, which is the first structure, techniques are step-by-step, progressive. Second, process-oriented, focusing on modeling processes or action that manipulate data. And third is separate data from processes. And data flow diagram or DFD. The first one is a primary tool for representing system component process and flow of data between them. Two, offers logical graphic model of information flow. Third, high level and lower level diagrams can be used to break process down into successive layers of detail, which is in three parts. The first, data dictionary. Second, process specification. And third, structure chart. And this is the data flow diagram or DFD for mail in university registration. Just for example, from the student, have a requested course and verify availability and go back to the students and confirm registration. And this is the high level structure chart for a payroll system explanation chart. Okay, object-oriented development. Object is basic unit of system analysis and designs. Object, there's two meaning of object. First is combine data and the process that operate on those data, and second is data encapsulated in object can be accessed and modified only by operation or method associated with that object. Object-oriented modeling based on concept of class and inheritance. Object belong to a certain class and have feature of that class and may inherit structure and behavior of a more general ancestor class. And this is the charts of a class and inheritance. It illustrates how class inherit the common features for their superclass. And this is the diagram chart. Okay, object-oriented development, more iterative and incremental than traditional structure development. There's 3 points. The first one is the system there's 3 parts. I mean, the first one is system analysis. The second one is design phase, and the third one is implementation. So because objects are reusable, object-oriented development can potentially reduce time and cost of development. That's why object-oriented development is very effective and efficient. And now, move to the next method is computer-aided software engineering, or CASE case. Software tools to automate development and reduce repetitive work, including four things. First one is a graphic facility for producing charts and diagrams. Second is screen and report generators, reporting facilities. Third is analysis and checking tools. And fourth is code and documentation generators. So support iterative design by automating revision and change and providing prototyping facilities, and require organizational discipline to be used effectively to use this computer-aided software engineering or CASE system. And there's another methodology is alternative system building methods. Alternative system building methods, there's the first, traditional system life cycle. Second is prototyping, prototyping, and third is end user development. Fourth, application software package, and the last is outsourcing. Traditional system life cycle. The meaning of traditional system life cycle is oldest. It is the oldest method for building information system. And the phase approach is there's 2. The first, development divided into formal stage, and the second is waterfall or approach, or one stage finish before next stage begins. And formal division of labor between end user and information system specialist. And 3 is fourth. The fourth meaning is emphasize formal specification and paperwork. 5th is still used for building large complex system, and the last is can be costly, time-consuming, and inflexible. And now for the prototyping. The prototyping is a meaning of building experimental system rapidly and inexpensively for end user to evaluate. So prototype itself is working but preliminary version of information system, which is approach prototype serve as template for final step. And there's a step for prototyping. There's 4. The first one is identify user requirement. Second is develop initial prototype. Third is use prototype, and fourth is revise and enhance prototype. So this is the example of the chart of the prototyping process. So the process of developing a prototype can be broken down into 4 steps because a prototype can be developed quickly and inexpensively. System builder can go through several iterations, repeating step 3 and 4 to refine and enhance the prototype before arriving at the final operation 1. Advantage of prototyping. There's 3 advantages of prototyping. The first one is useful if some uncertainty in requirement or design solution. Second, often used for an user interface design. Third is more likely to fulfill end user requirement. But there's also the disadvantage of prototyping is may gloss over essential steps, may not accommodate large quantities of data or large number of users, which is may not undergo full testing or documentation. And the last is end user development. The meaning is allows end user to develop simple information system with little or no help from technical specialists. It's also reduce time and steps required to produce finished application. The tools itself include first, user-friendly query language and reporting. Second is PC software tools. End user advantage. The advantage of end user is more rapid completion of projects, high level of user involvement and satisfaction. And the disadvantage of end user is not designed for processing intensive application, inadequate management and control, testing and documentation, and loss of control over data. And how to managing end user development is require cost justification of end user system projects, establish hardware, software, and quality standard. And the application software package. Itself is save time and money over customization feature, which is software can be modified to meet unique requirement without destroying integrity of package software. And evaluation criteria for system analysis include function provided by the package, flexibility, user friendliness, hardware and software resource, data requirement, installation and maintenance support, documentation, vendor quality and cost. And the request for proposal or RFP is detailed list of questions submitted to package software vendors and used to evaluate alternative software package. Outsourcing. Sourcing is there's a several steps of outsourcing. Cloud and SaaS provider, which is subscribing companies' new software and computer hardware provided by vendors, and the external vendors itself is hired to design, create software. Domestic outsourcing is driven by firm need for additional skills, resource asset, and offshore outsourcing is driven by cost saving. The advantage itself for using this traditional method outsourcing is allow organization flexibility in IT needs, and the advantage disadvantage itself is it is hidden cost and opening up proprietary business process to third party. So, new approach for system building, rapid application development or RAD. It is the meaning of process of creating workable system in a very short period of time. Itself utilizes techniques such as first visual programming and other tools for building graphical user interface. Second is iterative prototyping of key system elements. Third is automation of program code generation. And fourth, or the last, is close teamwork among end user and information system specialties. And now the joint application design or GAD. It is used to accelerate generation of information requirement and to develop initial system design. It's also used to bring end user and information system specialists together in interactive session to discuss system design, and also can significantly speed up phase and involve user at intense level. So that's joint application design or GAD. Now the agile development itself meaning is focus on rapid delivery of working software by breaking large project into several small sub-projects, and the sub-project itself can be treated as separate complete projects or completed in a short period of time using iteration and continuous feedback. Emphasize face-to-face communication over written document, allowing collaboration and faster decision making. So that's agile development. And now component-based development. It has a meaning of group of objects that provide software for common function and can be combined to create large-scale business application. And the web service itself for component-based development is reusable software component that use XML and open internet standard, enable application to communicate with no custom programming required to share data and service, can engage other web service for more complex transaction, and the last is using platform and device independent standard can result in significant cost saving and opportunities for collaboration with other companies. And now move to the application development for digital firm. The mobile application development. There's mobile website, mobile web application, native application, and special required for mobile platform. Special requirement for mobile platform itself is a smaller screen, keyboard, multi-touch gesture, saving resource, which is memory and processing, and also responsive web design. The meaning itself is by website program, so that layout change automatically according to user computing device. And so that's all for our presentation from Group 6. So sorry for, thank you for the attention. And if there's a bit wrong mistaken or something that cannot be explained very well, we are so sorry from Group 6. So thanks for the attention. Again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.